Dear students, welcome to BIORATNA. My name is Chandana Sengupta and today we are going to discuss Pedigree. Pedigree, it is an alternative method. It is an alternative method for what? It is an alternative method for the hybridization methods which is done in plants and other animals. You know that in plants and other organisms we do many types of hybridization experiment to observe the inheritance of characters through generations. For example, in case of Mendel you have studied, then Morgan's experiment you have studied, where the control experiments were done on the pea plant, the Pisum sativum, and Morgan did on Drosophila melanogaster. Here you are taking one plant tall, another dwarf. Then you are observing the transfer of characters in the offsprings, then in the next generation, and so on. These type of control experiments, they cannot be done in human being. But we need to know the inheritance of the different traits, not necessarily always diseases, but mostly diseases, yes. But we will use the word trait because the other than diseases, other characters are also studied. Inheritance of other characters are also studied. So these, then how to know about how the gene is passing? What is the inheritance pattern in case of human beings? Thus, we have found out an alternative method to find out the inheritance of traits in case of human being. Here what we do, we prepare a family tree. Then we prepare a family tree and then we observe. Then we observe or analyze the family tree. Then we can easily see who and when was affected, how the gene is passing. So this study, this of the family tree is called pedigree. Clear? Now let us see the different types of symbols which we use while we prepare the pedigree chart. For male, we show this symbol. This is for male. Round structure, this is for female. This is sex unspecified. What do we mean by sex unspecified? Many a times while preparation of the family tree, the children are not able to say specifically that whether that disease was in grandfather or grandmother. But they say yes, this trait was there, but we just don't remember. Then it is sex unspecified. Then when these two are drawn and there is a line in between, then this means there is mating, the marriage. If this line is double, this means that this mating is between very close relatives. When we have to show the offsprings, at that time, first we show the parents and we show the mating. After that, we take out one vertical line and on a horizontal line, we show the children in the order of their birth. Means from left to right. This is the first child, this is second child, and this is third child. Like that. Okay. And this symbol, one shows that these two husband wife and they are having a son. Would see one son affected. This is affected. Then if the symbol is such, this is 5, this is unaffected 5. This is unaffected 5. That's it. These are the various symbols. By using these symbols, we will prepare, I will show you how to prepare the pedigree chart and then how to analyze it. But before that, we need to see that these traits, they trait for diseases we will be studying here now. So these traits, they might be autosomal or they may be sex linked. Sex linked means present on X or Y chromosome. And accordingly, what are their characters, how to observe and analyze and tell that whether it is autosomal or it is sex linked. Let us see. Thus, the trait, it may be autosomal. Autosomal means present on autosomes, or it may be sex linked. Sex linked, it may be on X chromosome or it may be on Y chromosome. Fine. Now this autosomal, this may again be dominant or recessive. Dominant or recessive. How to know whether a character is autosomal or it is sex linked? Then whether it is dominant or it is recessive. If it is autosomal, suppose you are observing one pedigree chart in which you see that these children, the girl as well as the boy, both are affected, then you can come to the conclusion that this is not a sex linked inheritance. In case of autosomal one, daughter as well as son, they get equally affected. Fine. The girl may also be affected in some very rare cases. Then to see whether the autosomal character, if this is autosomal, then whether it is dominant or recessive. If it is dominant, if the trait is dominant, we always take the letter A, capital A and small a. If the trait is dominant, then it will always appear, in every generation. This generation also, you will find that the child is affected. We are talking about dominant, na? Oh, sorry, bacha. Here also we have to show one affected, na? At least it is having dominant allele, then it has to be affected. So the parent is affected, and then every generation it will appear. Whereas the recessive one, it skips generations. This dominant character, it normally they are individuals, they are heterozygous for the trait. They are not homozygous. That means they one allele at least it is having the one which is not causing disease. Acha hai na? Otherwise, if it were capital A, then 100% offsprings will be affected in this generation. And the trait, it expresses itself in 1:1 ratio in the offsprings. It expresses into 1:1 ratio. Now come to recessive. सबसे बड़ी पहचान recessive disease होने की, when you observe that these are the two parents, both are unaffected, किसी को बीमारी नहीं है, and then they have children. तो ये बच्चों में से, here you can see one child is affected. The disease is not there in the parents are not affected, but this child is affected. How come? The gene has come from the parents only, na? But that means that this trait is recessive, and due to this dominant allele which is not causing disease, it is not expressed in the two parents. हो गया? That's why it is the parents are not affected but the child is affected. Sure sign that it is a recessive trait. Done? Now let us see sex-linked inheritance. In sex-linked inheritance, the gene might be present on X chromosome or it might be present on Y chromosome. If it is present on Y chromosome is present only in sons, so only sons will be affected. Only sons will be affected. Let us see what happens when the disease is on X chromosome and it is recessive also. Normally it is recessive. Then first you draw these structures, XX present in female and XY present in male. Here it was simple, na? That a gene is present only on Y chromosome, having no allele on X chromosome. That's why only sons will be affected. Here, both can be affected because everyone is having the X chromosome. Now, this is the common condition, if the father is affected, remember that girls always get one X chromosome from father. And boys always they get X chromosome from mother. Mother से X, उसका अपना Y. So father will transmit the disease to the daughter. So here what happens is father transmits the disease to the daughter, but the daughter is saved. The daughter is not affected. Why? Because she has got one more X which is not having the diseased allele. So this girl becomes carrier. उसके पास वो allele तो है ये वाला, लेकिन यहाँ पे वो disease causing one नहीं है. That's why the girl becomes carrier. लेकिन फिर this girl it transmits the disease. गर्ल के पास क्या है? ये एक्स फादर का एक्स है जिसमें डिजीज है और ये मदर का एक्स है जिसमें डिजीज नहीं है. This daughter, she is now having this disease causing gene. This H I am writing for hemophilia now. So इसके जब बच्चे होंगे, she will take the case of son and daughter. तो लड़के के लिए if this H the son has inherited and Y, then the son will be affected. Then the son gets automatically affected. Now take the case of the girl child. अगर ये वाला भी उसे मिलता है, ये वाला मिल गया, then she is lucky. Both she will inherit both X chromosome from father and mother. Both are having the good genes. लेकिन अगर ये वाला भी उसे मिल जाता है तो फादर से जो X मिलेगा उसमें डोमिनेंट एलेली है, वो उसे सेव कर देगा. This is called criss-cross inheritance, sex-linked inheritance. This in X chromosome, this shows criss-cross inheritance. Means the mother is not affected, the daughter is and father is affected, daughter is carrier and daughter's son is affected. So this is a criss-cross pattern shown by sex-linked inheritance. Now let us draw some pedigree chart and let us see how to find out the genotype of each and every individual. जितने individual को आपने draw किया है, whether it is homozygous, whether it is heterozygous, क्या genes है, ये कौन सी alleles है, ये show करना आपको आना चाहिए. How to do that? Let us see. Now see this diagram. This diagram I have taken from NCERT, page number 88, figure number 5.14 of autosomal dominant trait. I am going to show you how to write the genotypes. One thing you remember कि हम जो दो लेटर लेने वाले हैं, जो दो एलिलीज लेने वाले हैं, always there is capital A and small a. Now we are going to write the genotypes of this, and doing this is the easiest job of the world. I'm really telling you, this is the easiest thing to do. The only one thing which you have to keep in mind that we can write very fast, we can go on writing the genotypes of the individuals by observing the next generation. नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को देखते हुए आप पेरेंट का जीनोटाइप तुरंत लिख सकते हो, और आपको ये देखना होगा कि वो डोमिनेंट है कि रिसेसिव है. लेट अस स्टार्ट. दिस इज ऑटोसोमल डोमिनेंट ट्रेट. These are the affected ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is mother is affected and it is dominant. तो dominant अगर है तो this can be capital A homozygous और capital A small a. दो ही तो possibility है, और तो कोई possibility है नहीं. Now which one is correct? What I told you. बच्चों को देखिए, अगर ये दोनों कैपिटल है तो सारे बच्चे अफेक्टेड होंगे, है क्या? नहीं. यहाँ आप देखो, ये बच्चा अफेक्टेड नहीं है, ये बच्चा अफेक्टेड नहीं है. इफ नॉट अफेक्टेड तो एक रेसेसिव एलीली तो इस पेरेंट से भी आया होगा ना. दैट मीन्स दिस इज इनकरेक्ट एंड दिस इज करेक्ट. और जितने भी अनअफेक्टेड है दे आर रेसेसिव. सो आराम से लिख दो पहले स्मॉल ए. जितने भी अनअफेक्टेड है आप आराम से लिख दीजिए स्मॉल ए है. डन. रीजन बिकॉज दे कैन एक्सप्रेस देमसेल्व्स ओनली इन होमोजाइगस कंडीशन. रेसेसिव है जो बीमारी नहीं होने देता है. अब प्रॉब्लम किसके साथ है? ये वाला बच्चा, ये वाला बच्चा. ये बच्चे ने शादी नहीं की. जिन बच्चों ने शादी नहीं की है उनका आप लिख सकते हो कि भैया ये दोनों पॉसिबिलिटीज है. आई डोंट नो विच वन, एज द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन इज नॉट गिवन, बट यू हैव टू राइट बोथ. कि ये होमोजाइगस भी हो सकता है, हेटेरोजाइगस भी हो सकता है. इतना क्लियर है ना? नाउ कम टू दिस चाइल्ड, द डॉटर. द हस्बैंड इज अनअफेक्टेड and this if she is homozygous तो उसके सारे बच्चे affected हो जाएंगे. But you see that 2 children they don't have the disease. That means this girl she is also heterozygous. Done. थोड़ा भी मुश्किल था. एक दो बार फिर से रिवाइंड करके देख लीजिएगा ना. Just observing the offsprings you can do it. Now see this diagram again from NCERT, page number 88, figure 5.14b, which is autosomal recessive. What we are doing? We are seeing how to find out the genotype. You will be asked the genotype of this one or this one, like that. Generation 2, child 3. So first you have to come to generation 2, then child 3, and then you have to tell the genotype. Here we will be doing the genotype of all. And the trick is the same. You have to observe the next generation whether they are affected or not. First, it is recessive. Recessive means the disease will be expressed only when the both recessive have come together. तो ये आसान है. ये जितने affected हैं उनमें आपने लिख दिया स्मॉल ए. ये तो कम थे, 3 थे, बाकी इतने सारों का लिखना है. Let us start with the 2 parents. Both are not having any disease, so both are having one capital A. Then they have children which have inherited one recessive gene from both of them. That's why this small a also. So observing the children, when we saw that though they are not affected, the children are affected, that means this one recessive allele has come from them. They are not diseased, that means they have one dominant allele. हो गया, पेरेंट्स का हो गया. अब आ जाइए यहाँ पे. This is, come to the first child. This first child is not having disease. That means it is having one capital A. But the question is, both capital A, that is homozygous, or one capital A, one small a. You have to write both here because this son has not married and he does not have any children. तो उसके जीन एक्सप्रेस नहीं हुए हैं जिन्हें देख के आप बता सको. Come to the second one. It is diseased, that means automatically you can write that both allele small a small a. Now again these two, they are unaffected. अनअफेक्टेड है तो एक कैपिटल ए तो दोनों को दे ही दो. अब देखिए बच्चा अफेक्टेड है, हाँ एक अफेक्टेड है, तो ये ए और ए आएगा कहाँ से? यहीं से आएगा, एक फादर से एक मदर से. हो गया, इन दोनों की जीनोटाइप लिख लिए. नाउ कम टू, अच्छा दिस वन, दिस पर्सन, इट इज नॉट द चाइल्ड ऑफ देम ना. देखिए इनसे जुड़ा हुआ नहीं है इसका लाइन. It is the sign of marriage with one of the daughters. This person is their son-in-law. तो इन son-in-law और daughter का निकाल लिया. Come to the last one. Here also you have to write both homozygous and heterozygous condition as he has also not married. Now this one you have written. अब ये दोनों बाकी है and they have not married. बीमारी नहीं है, दैट मीन्स कैपिटल ए, बोथ कैपिटल ए और इन हेट्रोजाइगस कंडीशन. तो इसमें भी लिख लीजिए, ये भी लिख लीजिए. क्लियर है? एक बार फिर घुमा के देख लीजिए, उसकी भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. जस्ट टेक पेन इन योर हैंड, पेन paper, and remember only one thing, that is go on observing the offsprings and accordingly go on putting the alleles, dominant or recessive. That's it. So I hope you have understood the pedigree. If so, and if you are new to my channel, then do subscribe, like and share and hit the bell icon so that you get all my notifications. We will take the pedigree many more problems in our Sunday sessions. So we will practice many more pedigree charts, how to observe, how to analyze, so you can easily do it. So do subscribe and hit the bell icon, and thanks for watching the video.